All right, everyone, welcome to our next Power BI dashboard project. So in this particular project, we're going to be dealing with fleet management. So we're going to see how we can actually create this dashboard from the scratch. So before we actually do that, we need to actually look at what exactly does the client want to see as KPI and other information we need to get before we get started from the scratch. This dashboard will definitely teach you a lot of things that you need to know and actually implement it on your own personal project. So let's see what is the need of our client before we get started. Before we get into Power BI and start writing DAX, let us look at some couple of things we need to have in place and to know before we get started. The first one is our design. We're going to create a design just like what you're seeing on my screen right now. And the next thing is understanding the expectation from our boss or from our client. In order for we to actually create a dashboard that looks like this, we need to understand what the client wants. So let us look at some couple of KPIs we need to track. So the very first one right here is actually all liters consumed, total drives, total kilometer traveled, total fixed cost, total fuel consumed, and maintenance cost. So we have other KPI which is peculiar to that of the driver's KPIs. So we're talking about the average speed per driver, average fuel efficiency, fuel consumption per kilometer, then fuel cost per kilometer. So after all this, we need to add some couple of slices. Then the first slicer we're going to add would be truck type and the trailer type. So with all this, you're good to go. If you think you can do this all by yourself, just get the data and pause the video and actually create this, and let's see what you can do. Then if you have any problem, then you need to actually watch this video to the end and solve it all by yourself. So if you have not subscribed to this particular YouTube channel before, go ahead and do it and make sure you download all the files you need to have this project created alongside with me. Welcome to Data with Decision. If you have unzipped the data you have downloaded, so you're going to see 2 Excel workbook and 1 CSV inside the data. So let's go ahead and grab this data. So what you can do for the first time is for you to actually click on import table from Excel. So click on that and you're going to see the 2 Excel workbook you have. Let's go with our F costs right here. So the F cost stands for fact table cost. So on my fact table cost, I'm going to get this particular one right here. So I will click on this very part and I'm going to click on transform data. Okay, everyone, there you have it. So the very first thing I love to do if I have semi-clean data that I am sure like the data is very clean and I'm very speedy about it. So I'm going to do Ctrl A and I'm going to go ahead and click on transform here, and I use the text data type right here. So I'm just going to fix any data type that are not really right for me. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to update this particular part. So I'm going to put here, let me remove up to this level. So instead of me to put FKM travels, I'm going to put fact table travel here. So I'm going to remove this and let's come here and have an underscore. I just love doing that. So this is our first table right here and it's okay. So the next we're going to do, click on home and go to this particular new source and click on this particular Excel workbook. So let's go ahead and click on this particular, dimensional tables, then open. All right, let's go ahead and pick the last 3. So like from here downward. So the rest are the same thing, but on different languages. I don't know. I don't really get it. So I think the last 3 is what you need. So go ahead and click on OK. So we have clean data as well right here. So just go here and do DRM for dimensional table underscore customer and do that to every one of your tables that are actually dimensional tables. As you can see, I've done that to my vehicle and my drivers as well. So let's go ahead and pick the remaining tables. So this time around, we're going to go for CSV. So the F rate right here is what we're going to pick. Go ahead and click on OK. So here's our last table. So for the first F, that is small letter, what I'm going to do now is to remove it and use facts table for the name. And I love using underscore, you know that? So just click on OK, and there you have it. So we have all our data ready right now. So what is next? We have to load this data to Power BI. So let's go ahead and close and apply. It's going to take just a while. It depends on the speed of your computer. All right, right now we have all the data that we need. So let's go to the modeling view right here. All right, kindly verify your relationship. If I actually hover over this right now, you can see we have customer ID to customer ID in the fact table freight. And if I hover over this particular one, which is dimensional table vehicles, it has truck ID to truck ID in the two table fact table freight. And if I hover over the same table vehicle, you're going to see that it has the truck ID connected to the truck ID in fact table, kilometer traveled. KM means kilometer traveled. And coming back right here, if I hover over it, driver to driver in both tables. So what about this? Do you have the same thing? So we still have one table we've not actually created yet, and that is going to be our date table, which we are going to create in a jiffy. So let's get to the visualization part. So clicking right to right now, let's get to understand exactly what we are about to get into. So going to the finished one, I click on it, and there we have it. So if you look at this, this is exactly what we're going to create, a very simple dashboard indeed. So, but the very complicated part is actually the tooltip that you are seeing right here. So for all those ones, they are simple KPI that you need to actually know how to create, like those one right here, and even the one on this particular chart, which I'm going to create and show you exactly how I did it. So let's quickly go back to the one we are creating by going back here. We are here already. So the very first thing we're going to do is to come right here and click on the driver and just click here. So we have this driver as a table for now. So we're going to have it. Let's see. So here we have our drivers. Before we start writing any measure, I love to create a measure table where I store all my measures right in. So the very first thing I do is to click on modeling. There are so many ways to do this, but this is one of the best ways you can actually do it. So now you're here, go ahead and click on our new table. Inside our new table, let's just actually create a measure table. Measures table. And what you're going to do is to use this particular, I think it's square bracket, I presume. Inside it, use double quotation, type any letter of your choice into it and close the double quotation and click on this square bracket. Once you've done that, go ahead and hit your enter. Oh, this is not square bracket actually. This is actually curly bracket. I don't know if I get that right. It's not square, but the curly bracket is what you need to use. Oh, it's not working. I think we made a mistake somewhere. Let's do that again. So we do measure table. We do this. You can put anything I want to be. So let's hit our enter key once again. Oh, got it wrong. Oh, I think what we have forgotten is the equal sign before we do this particular curly bracket, and inside it put anything you like and close, then hit your enter key. Let's see if that works right now. When you forget one single thing, Power BI can actually get your life some kind of miserable. So we got it right now for the last time. So now we're going to store all our measures right in here. So before we start creating measures and all of that, let's go to our data view and see what we have right here. Under the dimensional table, we only have what we can use to slice and dice our data. So the same thing we have under driver. We don't have anything like calculations right here, but we can do a count, right? Yes, of course. Let's go to dimensional table called vehicle. So we don't have any figure or numeric values right here for any arithmetic whatsoever, But on the two fact tables we actually have right in here, this is where the big work comes in. The very table we're going to use for the first time is this particular fact table, kilometer traveled, right? So here we go. We have our kilometer traveled, we have the liters, we have the fuel. So now if you look at the fuel here, we have is like the difference between these liters and the fuel here is what you need to know. So the liters is the amount of liters used for per trip, per trip, and the fuel here is actually how much is being spent in purchasing this and in running the operations. You get it? And we have the maintenance and the fixed cost. You need to understand this. The maintenance is actually how much it takes you to actually maintain your truck that you use in conveying those, goods and stuff like that. And the fixed cost is what you don't actually have, how do I put this? What you don't have control over, like the insurance and stuff like that, is exactly what it is. We're going to be creating this, and after this, we need to run some certain, advanced analysis to know more about our drivers. So first of all, let's see what we're going to do. We're going to use some on all of those columns right here, which is very simple, and I believe you can do it. Let's get back in here. So we are here. We first of all click right here. And once we right click on it, and the first thing we're going to do now is to just go ahead and click on new measure. So the very first measure is to calculate the total kilometer traveled, which is going to be total km traveled. So now you know what km means. That is kilometer traveled. So you're just going to do your equals and use the sum function. And all you just do is to actually reference the right table. And that's just going to be when you just type in km, you're going to see km traveled here. And once you get it, here we get it. So total kilometer traveled, you close and you hit your enter key. That gives you the summation of the total kilometer traveled by all of our drivers. So you have this right. Okay, let's do the next one. All right, all the simple measures we're going to be using have been created, specifically the total drive. If you look at it, we did a count on the driver's ID from the, what do I call it? From the driver's table. So you can see dim drivers. So to know how many drivers we actually have. And right here, we have the fixed cost, and the fixed cost is a simple sum of the fact table, kilometer travel table. So we have a fixed cost sitting there, and we have the total fuel consumed. And one thing you need to understand is that total fuel consumed is actually going to be formatted in dollars. Here, I told you, is not actually the numbers of fuel consumed, but the value of the fuel consumed. Then kilometer traveled is going to be formatted. I think we have that. Yeah, total kilometer traveled. Make sure when you actually format any value, you use 0 to remove the extra decimal places you have on it. So I'm going to come back to kilometer traveled right here. On the kilometer traveled here, we're going to have it on comma separator, and we have liters consumed, comma separator as well. Then total maintenance cost right here is going to be on a dollar number formatting, and we're going to take off the extra decimal place out of it by putting 0 on our auto right here. Then hit your enter key. For now, those are the measures we need to create. Just like this is okay. Very simple. Okay, it is time for we to get those measure inside this table for the first time in order for we to create something as beautiful as what we have right here right now. Shall we? Of course, I know we need to do that. Let's get it. So we are back right in here. So the very first thing you're going to do, click in here, and let's get it from the, I think I'm going to go from this particular total traveled. So here we go. We don't want this. I think we have a blank now. We don't want to use this particular kind of chart. So we want to use table and not matrix, but this kind of table right here. If you look at it, something is a bit wrong right here. Let's go and see what is exactly wrong. If I go over to this particular model area, so if I hover over this place, you can see we have driver linked to our driver ID, which is absolutely wrong. That was why I never leave, Power BI to run the relationship for me. So what we can do now, you can double click right here and see how to fix this. So we're right here. So here's our driver ID. We need to actually make sure we match it with this driver ID. By the time I click on my OK key right here, let's see what we have. Give it some time. Then let's go back to our report view. That fixes exactly this place for us. So let's go ahead and expand this. So we've gotten our kilometer traveled. The next we're going to get right now is total liter consumed. So we go for liters consumed here. Then from there, we actually go for the fuel consumed. So we can go for maintenance. And lastly, we go for the fixed cost. So we're not taking the numbers of drivers because already we're using drivers here as what we use to slice all those particular figures. So after you might have done this, for you to actually have a nice table, what you can do right here is just for you to double click on this one. So once you double click on it, is actually for we to go ahead and make sure we remove the total out of it. So the next thing is for the liters here, double click and take off the liters, the total by leaving the liters consumed. So the next thing we're going to do now is click on this one, then take off the total. Fuel consumed is what we want. So this would not actually, have anything to do with our original measures. So our original measures are actually cool. So maintenance cost is what we want. We don't want total maintenance. So just take this off. And finally, we want fixed cost right here, not total fixed cost. So we take this off. Here we go. So you can see we've shrunk this the way it should be. So I don't want to see these particular filters here just for me to have a very big space to get my things done. So we've taken that off. So first of all, let's move this to this part. Let's go ahead and click on this and let's go to our, oh no, we can't find that. So we just have to go to view, from view. So we click here. And now we can go to size. So let's use 624 for our height. And we do that by, 662. This is what it is. So 624 by 662. So we need to create a white space for the bottom, and for the edge here, we need a white space for it. This is exactly going to be what we want. So once we have done this, we still have some touches to do before we finally got exactly what we have gotten from the other one. So let's go ahead and affect the value. So I'm going to do the value to be 13. So 13 is okay for the value. That is fine. So next is for we to go to the grade here, and let's make it 5. So we're gonna make it 5. This is what we have. So when I take off the total, let's do it. The total should be turned off. That is gone. Then let's go to our header. So we make our header 10, but select a very bold font for it. So we have something like this, which is cool. So for now, let's do with what we have. So I want to remove this particular, horizontal and the vertical scroll. So let me click right here and just move this a bit. And as you can see, it's taking it off. So it's almost gone. But I don't want, okay, let's see. Yeah, sure, let's fit it. Because if I do that, it's going to actually cut this down. So I can just do this and you've gotten that off. So we can just do this a little bit. So this one is gone as well. So for now, let's have this. So enjoy what we have now. So once we have done this, the next thing we're going to do right now is to get a line chart right here. But when we have a line chart, how do we visualize our line chart? That is going to be something you will have to talk about. So I'm going to bring in our line chart here. So for now, we do not have a date table. So how do we visualize our line chart? So date table is very simple to create. I don't want to use the inbuilt date table here. Let's go ahead and build it. So here is my previous date table I have used on the other dashboard. So you can go ahead and copy the same exact thing. If you need the code, I'm going to send you the code, copy it, paste it, and it's going to pick the right date for you. So let's do that. I'm going to Ctrl A and Ctrl C to pick it from here. Very simple. and easy. So let's get back in here. Now we are here. The next thing is for you to click right at the data view, and let's go to this particular table tools and click on new table. Okay, on the new table, go ahead and just paste it down, then hit your enter key, and we have our new date table. So with this date table, let's go to the modeling view quickly. But before we do that, let's click on this particular date, highlight the date column here, sorry, the month column rather. So go to this particular sort by column. You have a month number, go ahead and sort it by month number. That is all you need to do for now. But this one is not really the way I want it. I can actually click on this particular one and use the short date format. By clicking on this part here, you can see the date here is a short form. So click on that. So after you might have done that, you have one more thing to do. Let's do it. So make sure you still have the table highlighted. Go ahead and click on table tool. And here you see where it says mark as date table. Go ahead and click on it. And there you click on it, mark as date table. Wait for it to come up. So with this, dates validated successfully. So click on OK. Let's go to the modeling view and do one more thing. So click right here. Go ahead and close this. So we have our date table here. You can bring it down. So let's take this up. So here's our date table. I'm gonna move this away, move this to this side, and now I can bring in my date table here. So clicking on my date table, so let us look at the tables with date. So we have the two fact tables with date, this one and this one right here. So all we have to do is to drag this and put it on top of the date here, and that will definitely create one-to-many relationship for us, or many-to-one relationship, whatever. So you do the same thing. Now you can actually start from here. Either of it will definitely work. So drag it on top of this, and surely enough, you have just created a date table for your work. So I can just go ahead and do this. So nicely done. So let's get back here. So this time around, clicking on this now, I can surely go right here and I'll see my new table. So all I need to do is just to actually get my date. But I don't want to use just month. I want to actually have, this drill down or drill through. Is it drill through or drill down? I think it's drill down, not drill through. So drill down effect on it. So what I'm gonna do right now is to first of all pick my let's go with my year. So on my year, I can create a hierarchy here. Create it. So it's creating the hierarchy for us. The hierarchy has been created, but I can rename my hierarchy. I don't want to use my hierarchy as year hierarchy. So let me name my hierarchy to months. So months. That doesn't mean I have 2 months. I'm going to move my month into it as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is to move my month into it. And where is my month? My month. Okay, I've clicked on my month. To move it now, click on add hierarchy. So let me do that again. For you to add your month, go to month. It doesn't matter if you click on it. All you have to do is to make sure it's on highlight, right click, and create, no, but add. You can see the month here, which is the rename we just renamed. Click on it. That would have added this month into here for us. So the next thing we might want to add right now is our quarter, right? So let's go ahead and add our quarter. So right click and you go to add and you add the quarter into it. So do you see that right now? That is it. If you want to add a day name, you can go ahead and add a day name, but that is not really important to what we are actually analyzing. So for this very purpose, I can go ahead and click on my, should I call it group or hierarchy? My hierarchy, of course. So our hierarchy is in here. So it's not really visible right now, but it is actually visible right here. We have the year, the quarter, and the year, the month, and the quarter. So what do we get into here? So if we go ahead and collapse this, I can just decide to move my, which is awkward, right? Why is it happening like this? What do we have right there? We just have 1 year of data. So I did this because if we have multiple years, it will definitely show us which year is trending. So now we can go ahead and some kind of drill by month, by quarter. Okay, we do this by quarter. So we're seeing here. So can you see? We have the quarter as well. Can you see it now? We want to see the quarter alone. So here's the quarter. Can you see? You see the quarter alone. Here's the quarter. But what we want to do is just to leave it on the month. So the month is fine. We love the month. But this is not exactly what we want. So we want to actually have the feel of like we select, kilometer travel, liters consumed, how much is being spent, and the fuel and stuff like that. How do we do that? Let's do it. So go to the modeling here. Before now, it had never been easy. You have to write a DAX that will do this for you. But right now, it's far simple. So click on this particular new parameters, and we're going to use a field parameter right now. Fields parameter. Click on it and let's see what we have. So this is exactly what it is. So I want to take it up from here, and this is the box we're going to be using. But before we do that, let's highlight this parameter and rename it to switchable driver. Okay, switch driver measures. Switch driver measures, we have it. Let's go. We open our measure table, and now we have to get all of this in. So I'm going to start from this total liters, followed by total. Well, let me go with total maintenance, fuel consumed. I'm taking it based on the length of it. So we get this right. So my arrangement is not really compulsory. It depends on what you want, but this is what I want, of course. So no matter how you pick them, they will definitely work like magic. So now we have gotten all our measures right in here. So the next thing now is to click on create. That will definitely add us, should I call it a slicer? Yes, of course. It's going to add us a slicer. Let's wait for it. Now we have our slicer right in here. I don't like this slicer. If I select this right now, oh no, this is what I'm going to have. So let's fill this in and let's see what we have. So I'm going to take off what I have in here, and now it's gone. So if I come in here right now, check this. Let's see what it is. Nothing is selected because it's empty. Let me just go ahead and select something and see. Does that work? That seems not to work. Let's check it out. Where is that right now? We scroll down. Can you see? We have it on the legend. So we don't want to take this into the legend. So let's see where we're going to have this. If you look at this right now, here we have the x-axis is taking the depth. So the y-axis needs to take this, so we can try to move it and see if that moves. Definitely it worked, but this looks some kind of ugly. Why do we have this? That was because we have nothing. If I say nothing, I mean we have nothing selected. What do? Let's select something here and see. You look at that. This is exactly what it is. It's working. But if I deselect it and select multiple, that shows that I'm selecting multiple, and definitely I don't select multiple. But if I want to select multiple right now, I can hold my control and I have to select it. It's some kind of fine, it's okay to compare, but definitely I hate this. What do I do in this case? Let me show you. Go over to here. Now we are here. Can you see the slider settings right here? Click on that. Then we click here and we check this particular drop down for the first time. Now we are on drop down and we still have multi-selection, right? So what do we do next? We click on this selection here and we just go ahead and do this. So that's actually only allow us to select one item at a time. So if I open it up right now, I can hold my control key and select multiple of it. So now I can resize this, and I don't need the header. I can take off the header. I want it without a header. So I'm just going to have this right in here. So let's just drop this down. And for this particular chart, I don't want header for it or title for it. I'm going to take off the title. So first of all, I would love to resize my chart and take off all I don't need, because I want my chart to look as beautiful as this one right here. Let me take you right here and see what it is that we have done here. Can you see this right now? This looks beautiful, but we have to do a lot of work to actually have it the way this one is right now. So let's do it. So click on the size here, and here we're gonna make it I think let us make this one 533, and here we're gonna make this one 295. That is what it is. So we come down to our x-axis here. You know the x-axis, right? We want to take up the title, and we click on bold right here to bold it. So we close it. The x-axis, we want to take up the title as well. No title for it. That is all. You don't need to do anything else. So now we have achieved this. I can just move it down a little bit. So let's just use this for now. Okay. The next thing we're going to do right now is to actually create some KPI cards that we need for our works. Let me bring this down. Okay. For the KPI card, I'm going to go with this card here. So on this card, I want to have my total liters consumed. So I'll go over here. So I have liters consumed. Here we go. I bring it in. So I'm going to make it a bit smaller. So first of all, let me just quickly, clean it up. It's very simple. So let's click on this here. We'll click on this. So we go over here. We just make it 25, and that is it. So we make it as small, just like this. So what we can do is just, okay, before we do copy, let's go over to this and turn off the background. We don't want that, right? So we can now go ahead and copy, and we have it pasted. So we can bring this right here. So once we've done this, the next we're going to have right in here right now is total drive. So you click right here and move this off. So we bring in total drive. So we paste another one. So we bring this over here. And this time around, we want to have kilometer traveled. So we go over here, and we have our total kilometer traveled. So these three, cards we have here now, I want to make sure they are very well aligned. So let's bring them down a little bit, just like this. So now for you to have them well aligned right now, what you can do is just have all of them highlighted, go over to format, and click on align here. You go over to distribute horizontally, and that is very cool, right? So once you've done this, you can select all of them at once. So I can just go ahead and copy, I paste it down. So I'm just going to go ahead and move all of this down here. So don't worry about the arrangement right now. In no time, we're going to have all of them clean up. So once you have done this, the next thing you're going to do right now is just to actually have this one change to what you want. So quickly click here. So fixed cost, we come in here, go over here. So we take in our fixed cost. So we click on this, we click on this, we do this, and click here. And this one will definitely be total liters consumed. So here we go. So total liters consumed. So I think that is not well for my, okay, total fuel consumed, not liters consumed. We've used that already before now. I think it's going to be fuel consumed. That will be in value, like in dollar formatting. So fuel consumed here. This should be formatted like this. Then when we click on this one, this is going to be our maintenance cost, right? Yeah, it's going to be our maintenance cost. You can take it off and go into it. We go over here. We check this. So that is all we need to do. So we've gotten them all. Okay, nicely done. So the next thing right now is that we have to start creating the template that we want to use for this. I know the right place to do this is not here, but we can use PowerPoint to actually have something very, very, creative created. Let's see something here. I don't like this. What am I seeing? I'm going to just double click on this part. Just make sure you place a cursor here if you have this. That opened this up for you. So it has stretching it up. So nicely done. Okay, let's see that. I'm going to drop this down a little bit. Yeah, the white space here is okay. I want to have a space at the top level right here. So the very first thing I'm going to do right now is to see right here we have what we call snippet tool. Go ahead and make a search. If you're using Windows 11 or 10, you can find it. Snippet tool is a tool to take a screenshot. So just click on new, and over here you take the size of this dashboard right here. So once you actually have this red surrounding this, just like mine, then on your computer, that is fine, release it. So you have taken a screenshot. So here you go, save as. I want to save it somewhere I can pick it up from easily. So I have it right here. I can remember exactly where I have it saved in on my desktop. So go ahead and click on OK. So we can take this off. So now we have to go to PowerPoint to actually start getting things done the way it should be. All right, welcome to PowerPoint environment. The first thing I'm going to do is to have everything in here been removed. So I've taken it off. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is show you how I get my color. Already, I have my colors right here. So I've already picked all the colors I need. I'm going to show you where I used to get my color from in case I don't have an inspiration for colors and my client does not have the color inspiration as well. So we can pick color that rhymes and correlate together. Let's do it. So go over to Google and actually type in Adobe here. Type in adobe.colors. Here we have it. Adobe.color.com. Let's wait for it. So you can see the first one right here. Go ahead and click on it. So if you open it, the home page gives you something like this, but this is not exactly where we are going. So go to Explore, click on Explore. And once you are in Explore, you can see the default colors it mixed up for you. So you can use any of this if you think this is what you want and all of that. Just go ahead and use this. But for if we want to get color now, we can search for the color we want. Over here, you have a search bar. Not this search bar, please. We have a search bar inside the web page itself. So click over here. You can see the previous searches I've made. So right here, I can actually use like blue, comma. I can use orange here. So hit your enter key. It's going to mix this up with other 4 different colors. Sorry, 3 different colors, all of that. So you can see, if you check this right now, let's see, our blue here and that blue, something like black, orange, and it mixes it up for you. So you might not use all of those colors. You can choose the best 3 or the best 4 to be used. This is how I get my colors. Another thing you need to understand or you need to know is actually where I get my icons from. I always get my icons from PowerPoint, but if I don't have the very one I need, I can come over here to something like this flaticon.com here. On the flaticon.com, you can get any icons you want to tell. So let me just get something like analytics. So you have over 80,000 analytics icons. Can you see them? Over 80,000 analytic icons. So here you have them. So the very big part of it is that you can actually get not just icon, animated icon. If I click over here, you go to animated icons. Let's see what we have under analytics. So let's say I click on this one, for example, if I want to use this right now. Let's see, it's coming up. Can you see that? Very interesting. Let's click on this and see what it is. Can you see it now? You want something like money? You got it. It's coming up. Let's give it some time. So there you have it. So I have some videos where I've shown you how to use them on both Excel and Power BI. You don't just put them into Excel and Power BI and you think it's going to work. So there are ways to actually get them in. But enough of this. Let's get back to our PowerPoint. Okay, here we are. Those are the colors I said we're going to use. The first color to be used is this particular color right here. Let me just copy this and come over here and drop it in here. I'm going to show you the color code in case you want to use this exact color. So the very first thing I'm going to do is to click on my background, not on this, but on the canvas. So right click, you see where it says format background. Here we go, click on it. So we have this right here, click here and use this particular eyedropper. So once you've done that, click on this. That is exactly what you do. So now we click on the very one we used to get this created. So we can now go ahead and have it deleted because we don't need it again. right? Once we have done that, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go back right here. You look at this. Yes, I'm going to copy this. Ctrl C to copy. Back here, Ctrl V to paste. We have it right in here. So I'm going to resize it over this place and stretch it to this level. Do you see that? This is exactly what I want. So in case you want to see my color code, let me, for this one here, for the header, click over here, more colors, and you look at this, is 003542. That is the color. You get it? So click over the background itself. Here we go. If I click on this particular one here, it's giving me 004151. Make sure you have the hash tag right there. So we've gotten this already. That is beautiful. The next thing right now is to bring in our what? Bring in our screenshot. So go over here. So wait for it. Here we go. Pictures. This device. So we scroll over to where we saved it in desktop. If I scroll all through, I have it. So here we have our screenshot. We want to actually go ahead and resize it. Make sure it covers to this level. That is beautiful. So once we have done that, all I'm going to do right now is to right click and actually click on send to back. So that reveals exactly what we have on the header. And I love the header the way it is right now. So just leave it just like this. So once we have the header this way, what else do we do? We can actually go ahead and pick up a card. Here we go. We go over here. Then go to shapes. So we click on this particular one that has some kind of rounded rectangle, drop it down. So here we go. We have something like this. Do you see it now? So for we to be on the same page, let's some kind of use the dimension, height and weight. What do? Let's do it. So click here, go over here. Let's do 2.5 centimeter. So we do that by what? By 4.45. So here we go. We have something like this. So after you might have done this, let's go over to here. Then for the outline, we don't want any outline for it. So for the main color here, we can definitely use something like this. This is the color we want to use. So we can bring my color over to this part. Let me rearrange my color, this particular one here. So for the rounded corner, I just want to reduce it. So we can just click on this. So we don't want to have too much, right? Something like this is okay. So now we have this. Click and double it. Double this as well. So the next thing to do right now is to definitely make sure we click and highlight 3 of them. Go over here and you see where it says align, and we want to distribute horizontally, and we can do align top. Here we go. That is it. So once you have done this, the next thing now, hold your control key. You see this plus sign, drag it all the way down right here. So you can see, you can just move this down a bit. So the white space at the bottom is always a key. You need it. So once we have gotten this ready, release your cursor, double click on, just double this and bring this all the way to this level. You do this, you bring this down. So if you look at it right now, we have some kind of 2 rounded corner. So I'm just gonna like take it off totally. I don't want it at all. So now we have something as flat as this. So we make sure it's in the middle. So this is beautiful. The next thing we're going to do right now is Ctrl D to double it. So we come over here. So we do this. So we just get this done this way. Okay. We'll make sure we drag this all the way down. So we have a guide that guides us through if we are at the right spot in terms of horizontally and vertically. So once you see that red dotted line, just release your cursor. That means everything is right. So don't worry about if we have some part of it who is above what we have just created. That is fine. You get it? That is fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, we have something like this, and I think I'm very, very much cool with this. So all I'm going to do right now is to remove what I have behind it. Can you see it now? Just click on delete, and we have something like this. this is not yet perfect. We have some kind of shiny part of it that we need to create. Let's start from this card. Ctrl D to double it. So here we have it. If I go over here, now I Ctrl C to copy, come here and Ctrl V to click, or just drop it in here. Now click on this and use the eyedropper, then pick it up. So now we can just go ahead and have this one deleted. We don't need it any longer. So I'm going to Ctrl D to just duplicate this. Very interesting. So come over here and place it right here. So once we have just done that, the next we're going to do right now is to make sure we actually have it on top of it. So right click and send it to back. One beautiful thing, if it has not well some kind of arranged, you can use your arrow up and down to do that. So I just want to actually make sure it shows a little bit at the left hand corner. Once I've done that, I release, and this is exactly what I have. So I come over here to do the same thing, send it to back, send to back. Now we arrange. So once it disappears, 1, 2, we have this. We can have, yeah, this. So can you see it now? So the next thing right now is to do this one, Ctrl D to duplicate it. Once you've done that, we come over here. Instead of us to use this, we are not using this. Instead, we are using the gradient fill. Here we have the gradient fill right here. So instead of us using the first stops, I'm going to take one off and use the middle one. I check this. I use this color. For this part, the eyedropper, choose this very color for me. Then click on this one. The eyedropper, choose this color for me. That is beautiful. So the next thing right now is to check how I want this to show. So I'm going to use this one. Then that will definitely make me to do something like this. Can you see that right now? So on this part here, I can just do this. So put it on something like 80. I'll come over here and do something close to that. So what I'm going to do right now is to make sure they are resized and they are on the same level. If they are not, I see it right here. Just send it in a little bit. And let's see this. If the reflection is fine, that is beautiful. We're going to leave it this way. Okay, I love what I have right now. So I'll Ctrl D to duplicate this. If I click on this gradient fill, I'm going to have something like this. The next thing I'm going to do right now is to turn it around to actually get exactly what I want. This middle one or this very one is okay. So I have something like this. So I just make sure I put it on top of it. Right click, send to back. So now bring it forward. So once it shows this, you release this. Go over here and do the same thing. Now you choose this. You just go here. You choose this here and right click and send this to back. So you just bring it down a little bit. So can you see it right now? Don't make it show too much. It will be some kind of too awkward. This is actually okay. So we're not done yet. We have one more to go. So all we just need to do right now is to go over here and go to shapes, click on this circle, hold the shift key down to draw a very perfect circle right here. So now we're going to check the height and the weight of this very circle we need to use. Let's go here and here we're going to use 1.33 by 1.33. So once we have done that now, beautiful, we just have to bring this over to this level. Let's do this here. So now we say no fill. So we come over here under this place where we want to have a fill on it. So we choose, let's do gradient. And I'm going to take off 2 stops. So I'm left with 1 stop. Oh yeah, I'm left with 2 stops, right? So I'm going to choose this one. And over here, I'm going to choose the same background for it. And over here, I'm going to choose how the reflection should go. I want something like this. This is how I got this, right? So the next thing we need to do right now is to make sure, select it, Ctrl D to duplicate it. bring it over here. So we bring this down. So just do this. So just set this around. Here you go. Okay. I might not be perfect when it comes to doing this, but spend some time arranging this. So I'm going to come here, select one of it. So make sure you have one selected. Hold the Control key to select this one. Deselect this one. Select this one. So go right here to arrange it. And you can align top. That is nice. So now you can do the same thing to this one. Just spend some time doing this. So do this. So target that to select it. And you go over here and you align this to the bottom. So that is nice. So well arranged. So we need some icons right here. I'm going to show you how I get my icon right here inside PowerPoint. So go over to Insert and click on this particular icons. So once you've done that, let's see what it is that we have right here. Okay, in here, if I type in analytics, so I'm going to have all the analytics. Oh no. Here we go. We should have it. So I have all the analytics right here. All you have to do is to click around and get exactly how many of them you want. Then click on OK. You are going to have all you have clicked on right here. So I can decide to change the color to something like this. So you can see I can resize and reshape all of it. So can you see it now? But I don't actually want all of those icons I brought in right now because I have already some icon down to be used. So just go ahead and get to whatever places I've shown you to get icons from and colors from to make sure you have all you need to get everything done. Okay, here we have the icons here. All I need to do is just to arrange my icons to be well into where I want them to stay and sit rightly. Okay, so we have those icons right here. So this is exactly what it is that we want. I'm going to tell you first thing that we are almost done with this. So I have one thing left, and that would definitely be what I'm thinking. Let me go to Insert and click on here. I want to take off this line, and I'm going to drag the line. Hold my Shift key to drag in this line here, and I'm going to use the let me use the gradient line here. So take off one step, and this one is going to show this. This one here is going to show the same color, which is the same background color. So while the middle one will definitely show that shiny color, this very one here. So for this one, we have to reduce the transparency, to get the actual kind. You can just scale it. Let me kill it and see. Does that work for me? Yeah, that should work if we change the way it looks. Here we go. We have something like this. Do you look at it? Nicely done. So let's go ahead and try this and see if this definitely fit into what we want. Beautiful. So we have actually created everything we need to actually use. Okay. Before we go, let me do one more thing. I want to come to this place. I just want to copy this color code because I need it. It's very important. It's one of the leading color I have. So just do Ctrl-C to copy. So as you can see, it's 71E4FF. So no problem. We've gotten it. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to go to File, Export, and we click on this. So I don't want to do as PNG. I'm going to do JPEG, double click on it, and let's save it somewhere. I'm going to save this as BG1. So we just click on Save. So just click on OK. So let's go to Power BI. So now we are here. So make sure you have nothing selected here. Just go over to your canvas background. Bring this to 0%. So click over this here. Let's go ahead and pick our BG. Scroll all the way down. And here we go. So we have this. Nothing is popping out the way it should be like now because we are not doing the right thing by leaving this on white, but it's cool. We can do it. Let's do the first thing. So make sure you select this. Select this. You're multi-selecting, right? So we go over to this, and here if you remembered, we did copy something. So paste it over here. Do you see that right now? So we're bringing the shape out. So the next I'm going to show you now is still make sure you highlight everything. Turn off the category. We have them turned off. So now we can manually arrange them. So let's do this. So just put this right here. Don't worry, you will enjoy what we're doing. So just have this right here. So can you see this now? Follow my lead, do everything I've done so you have the same result as me. So just do this. Okay. So you just do this. So now the next thing we have to do now is some kind of, just leave it the way they are. Make sure you go over here, turn off this. Then go right to this, I think is the X axis first. So we want something like this. So the Y axis. So we don't want the Y axis to overshadow the X. So we're going to look for something that is not as shiny as that. Something like this would be very cool. So once we have done that, that is great. The next thing right now is this one here. So we'll put it up at this level. So what we need to do now is just to make sure we click on the value here. And on the value, we make sure the value is on this 10% dark white. So we click here and we turn off the background. Okay. So for the line chart here, let's see what we have for the line chart. The line chart, we want to change the line chart's color. So we go over to line, scroll down. We look at the color for line chart. So we pick this color. That is beautiful. So if you look at it now, we have line type. I want to pick up this particular smooth line and I have something like this. So what happens if I have this place open? Can you see? We can't pick nothing because it's not visible. What do? So we want to get the same exact color we've used. Let's go ahead and get it. So here is the color. Just click, pick up the color code from here. So it takes time to create a very beautiful dashboard. So you just have to be patient with yourself and have a very, precious time to waste. Yeah, sure. So click on this now. And let's go to value. We are on the value. On the value area. Let's move the background. We're right here. So now we click on this. We paste in the color code. Can you see that? So let's see. If I click on this now, so you can see it reflects everything here. So when I make changes, so it's actually giving me exactly what I want. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to make sure this sits right. So when you want to get exactly what is being selected showed up here, this is what you do. You don't go over to a card and put this in. Then you come over here, you do this. This is the wrong perspective to do this. It's going to show you numbers, right? So this is going to show you numbers. It's not going to work. And what we want is to show something like this. Let me go here and show you what I'm talking about. So if you look at this right now, can you see this now? If I actually select something different, like if I go for my total liters consumed right now, you can see total liters consumed is this. Can you see that? This is exactly what it is. So now how can we show this? We need to actually show this, right? So let's do this. So I have to get it deleted, remove. So now what we do is to click on this and make sure you copy, then paste it back right in. Then go over here and drag it to this level. Just drag it up to this level as well. So once you have done this, you turn this into a card. So you're going to have this, right? So let's go ahead and make sure we put it on, take off the category. So we come over here. Let's put it on 25 and see what it is. So 25 seems to be cool, right? Can we use something like 30? So let's see if this is okay. The next thing we're going to do right now is to get the same color we used for this, right? So I think that is not going to work. I think I have a specific color for it. Let's get it. So if you click over here, you can see this color is a different color. We've never used it before. So I'm going to go ahead and get the color code, come over here. And now you have 009ABB. So Control A, Control C to copy. So we go over here. Now we click here. So this is exactly what it is. So we've gotten this for it. Can you see it now? So let's go ahead and move this up a little bit. So what happens if we select something that has more? Does it show up everything? No. So that for that case, we need to change this to 25. Let's see what 25 will give us. Okay, I think this is actually cool. This is cool. We love this. So this is exactly what we're going to do. Can you see this now? It's looking beautiful. Okay, next we're going to do right now is to click on this part. And now we have to go over to here. And first of all, turn off the background. The next thing we do is to come over to this part here. Once you open it up, you have options to actually give a color to your background and to the text, and we have alternate colors, right? So first of all, let us deal with the background. So the background we use for this particular one right here is what we're going to use. So let's see how we can get that in background. We're going to click over here and we choose the background to pick it up from. So we click here, just copy the code over from here. So Ctrl C to copy. So we go back. So we click on this. So once we click on this now, here it says the first background here is gonna be this, not white. We choose Ctrl V to paste it in. This is what we have. Now it's looking a little bit awkward, right? So we need one more background, and the background should be the background we have for this before the cards laid on top. Let's go get them. I think I'm talking about this color right here. And if you look at it, this color right here is what we have right for this particular edge. Can you see this edge here? So let's just pick this color away from here. So you have everything, you can use it the way you like. So now here we go. We go ahead and Ctrl A, Ctrl C to copy. All right. So we go over to Power BI. So the next one now is this particular alternate background here. So we click this, and we'll paste this in. So we have something like this. Okay, well, let's go over to our grid here, and let's change this to something like this. How about this? This look good, right? So now it is time for me to play with the value area. On the value, we don't want black, so I'm gonna use white. So another alternate text here, I'm gonna use this color here. So you can see this is exactly how we got the one you've seen previously before now created. So the next thing we have to actually touch right now, I think is going to be the header, right? So let's touch the header and see. Go to the header, and here we have where it is. This is the text. The text should be on white, plain white. And for the background, we want to use this dark one. So we have this. Can you see that? Beautiful. So now this is exactly what we have done. So I want to keep a space between this particular header right here. What I can do now is just for me to move this down a little bit, just small. So perfectly done. So we have something like this. Okay, guys, what is left? We need to actually create our, what do I call it? A title for this. Fleet management dashboard. So let's do that. So I'm going to click over to this particular text box right here. So I can stretch it up, move it up to this level. So inside it, I'm going to type in something like this. So Ctrl A to actually select and change the content inside it. So let's do 26 and see what we have on 26. Okay, nicely done. So right here, I'm going to put this on white. Let's do white. Not very, yeah. On this one, we'll have to change it to different color. So come here, we paste in this color. The last one here should be on different color as well. Let's click on this and let's do, I'm gonna do this color. Yeah, it's very color here. So for now, the next thing I'm gonna do is to actually make sure I have it on a bold font. I need the bold font for all of them. So go ahead and Ctrl A, then click right here and choose this particular. Let's go down a little bit. What color is that? Yeah, what font is that? This one here should be okay. So once we have done this, you can just reduce this a little bit. So come over to size and style, then turn off this, and we should have something as beautiful as this. So nicely done. Can you see this right now? So we have almost created what we have seen previously before now, but we are not done yet. Let's do the needful to have the other part of it created. That is the most fun part where we write our DAX. So I'm talking about this part. If I hover over here now, what do you see? We have the total drive. Of course, we've done that. So the average speed, the average fuel efficiency, the total fuel consumption per kilometer, and fuel cost per kilometer. Now, how do we create this tooltip? Let's do it. Okay, heading back right here within the measure. So now I would love to create a different merge for my tooltip. You know that? So just quickly click on modeling and we come right here to create a new table. Don't forget what we've done to do this. So we want to store all the measures we're going to use for this tooltip inside a particular table. That is what we want. So right here, I'm going to type in tooltip measure. Measures. Okay, put an equal sign here, the curly bracket. Anything should be into it. So you close it and you hit your enter key. That should definitely give you a tooltip measure. So we save all the measures we're going to be creating for our tooltip right in here. Okay, now we have this created. Let's go ahead and open it up and right click to create our first measure. So let's call this measure driver AVG for average speed. So to do that now, what we have to do is to use the divide function. So we're going to say divide. So divide what? We're going to divide our total travel. Yeah, total travel. So bring all the measures created by hitting the square bracket. It will give you the list of all the measures you've created. So total traveled, we divide that by our total drive. Can you see that now? So with this now, we have just created the average speed for all our drivers, you know. So that is the first measure we need to create. You get it? So now we can definitely use the comma separator and we use just 2 decimal places to do this. Very important. Don't forget. So it's actually a default on it. So the next thing we create on that measure. So this time around, we're going to create a measure for average fuel efficiency. Yes. So I'm going to do AVG here. So it's going to be average fuel efficiency. Yeah, something like, yeah, efficiency. So equals. So what we do in this particular case right here is very, very simple. So we do the same divide function. We divide, shift, enter. We divide in the kilometer traveled. That is kilometer traveled. So we do that by total liters. So total liters used, liters consumed. So this would definitely give us the average fuel efficiency. So this is exactly what it is. So the next thing now is to create a new measure again. So this one will be total fuel, let me do uppercase, total fuel consumption per kilometer. So what you do now is going to be very simple, using the divide function. So we do the liters, so liters consumed. We divide that by what? By the total travel, kilometer traveled. That is our window. Yeah, sure. So do your formatting nicely, very important. So remember, we have to actually format this into a currency because it's talking about total fuel consumption per kilometer. It's talking about the value, not liters consumed, right? So that is exactly what it is. So once you have done this, you go ahead and actually make sure you create a new measure for the next one. And the next one is going to be fuel cost per kilometer. Sorry, we're gonna have to reverse this. Let me just quickly solve that problem here. This is not in value. Let's do that. So this very one here, I'm talking about the total fuel consumption here. So total fuel consumption per kilometer is the physical fuel consumption in terms of liters or gallons per kilometer traveled. That is what it is. So it's not actually in value, in dollar or money spent whatsoever. So we just don't want to use currency for this. So we can use number. Just use number. Let's use decimal, for example. Decimal is going to be 2 decimal places. That'll be fine. So the correction has been made. So we go ahead and create a new measure now. So right now we're going to create a fuel cost per kilometer. So the fuel cost per kilometer now focuses on the monetary expenses of fuel consumption. You get it? So now here we go. So costs per kilometer. So this is the main value part of it. So we still use the divide function here. And the next thing we do is for we to use the total fuel consumed. Here we go. So we want to divide that by what? We divide that by kilometer traveled. By kilometer traveled. Here we have the kilometer traveled. Shift enter. So this is the one you're going to actually format as a currency, not the previous one. So we've actually corrected that. Hope you noticed that. So once this one has been done, let's go ahead and do this particular $ number formatting for it. So don't take off the extra decimal, please, because some of those value might not be up to even $1 per kilometer. So we want to see how much cent it is. So once you have done this, we have just created exactly what we want. So we just want to go ahead and let's rename this one to driver. I'm gonna do driver dashboard. See how we go. So now we create this one and we want to call this one tooltip. Driver tooltip. See, here we go. So it's time for we to start creating our tooltip right now. Very, very important. So let us insert, go here, come here, And for tooltip, click here and we choose this tooltip. That is beautiful. So we go over here, the canvas settings. So here we use custom. This is where we have to do something different. Let's make the height 350, like 350. So we do that by what? Do that by 260. So we can decide to actually say from top, we want to put it in the middle. And it's exactly what we have. So the very first thing we want is the name of the driver. We're going to be selecting, when we hover over it, we want the name of the driver being hovered on to show. So let's go ahead and use this. So once we have this here, let's do this. Resize this and resize this as well. To do this now, let's go here and we go to our driver table. So here we have it. So we'll click on the driver. So we have this. So we have to reduce the size of this driver. Go back here and let's, I think for the color, we want to change the color. So open this place up for this particular background right here. That's what we want to change. Open it up and let's do a change of color. So we click here. We'll go with this. So once we do that, I think, yeah, that should be something cool. So we go over to here, we do 25 to 5. That is beautiful. The next thing now is to turn this off. And I would like to use white here. I think that will pop out very well. This is beautiful. So the next thing now is for we to actually make this like this. So nicely done. So what else we need? We need to get a total driver. So to get a total driver right now, let's go ahead and insert this one again. So we come over here. We're going to the first measure, not the tooltip measure right now. So here is the tooltip measure. So the measure table, we get a total driver in here. So I love it. So there's one thing I would have loved about this card is simple card, but I think the best card to use here is not this. It's the new card that, you know, Power BI just introduced, the new KPI card. They just introduced that one would definitely give me control over my title, whatever it is. So let's go here and let us choose this very card right here. So this new card. So we have that. I love the way it is, right? So we have to work around this. It's too big. Let's put the card. Let's go to call out. Let's put it on 20. Exactly. So we reduce this to something like this. So the next thing now is for we to go to shape here. I think no. We go to card. We scroll down. The fill, no fill, and no border. So we want something very flat. So before we do any other thing, let us change this particular place. So we want to change the background here. I'll go over to my canvas settings. No, the background here. I'll click over this place. I want to choose something like this. So I'm going to put this on 0%. That gives me this. So now we need to take off the background. Here we scroll like this. We have that. Here we go. We turn off the background as well. So once we have done that, the next thing we have to do right now is just to go to the, let's navigate. Call out. So the color for our text should be this color here that pops. So we go for, so let's scroll down and go to the label. So from the label, we change the color of the label to something that we can read. And this is exactly what it is. So once we have gotten this right, so let's just put it to the top here. Something like this. Push it a little bit. So create a space here. So all we have to do now is just to Ctrl C and paste it. Then we'll move this down. So we just change this one here. So what we want here is the average speed. So we go over here, click here, So this time around, we don't want this. We want to get from our tooltip. So we get the average speed. So here we have it. So we paste a new one. So we'll move this one here. So on this one, what we need to get is actually the fuel consumption per kilometer. So click here. Total fuel consumption per kilometer. So here we go. We have this. I think we might want to have to reduce this. It's a bit much. So we paste a new one. So the last one here, just bring this down. I think this should be the last one. Here should be our fuel cost per kilometer. So click here. No, this here. Fuel cost per kilometer. So now we just need to format this. It's not really looking some kind of very cool. So we should have done that from the inception. I thought it was fine. So just put to this map place here. Then hit your enter key. That should actually correct it right now. So nicely done. So now we need to get to paste last one. Paste this here. So we drag this down. So the last one should actually be our average fuel efficiency. We've gotten that done. Which have we not done here? So that is gonna be, so our average speed is left. So we just wanna go ahead and pick up the average speed. So make sure you click on this very one here, click here, and let's go for our average speed. Here we go for our average speed. So we bring in our average speed, drive average speed here. That is beautiful. So now let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead and move this up a little bit. So we have to just maintain this pace. So here we go. Nicely done. So I'm gonna have to highlight everything I have in here, exclude this top one. So all I'm gonna do now is to come back here and let's go down for this label here. So let's reduce this to like, yeah, sure, this is cool. It shows everything I want. So once you're very much satiated, we can reduce. We have reduced everything we want. I'm gonna go ahead and go to insert here. Click on shape. Get this. Reduce this. So bring it up here. Take it all the way down. So let's come here. For the border, no. For the fill, click here. I want to use something like this color here, just to show something right here. I might use something much more bloody. Okay, I think I prefer this. I love this. So one more thing, go over here. So this time around, click on this. So reduce this, bring it here. Give it space a little bit. Just do this. And we just reduce this, something like this. We're fine. So we have to change the color to this color. Then let's go for the border. We don't want no border for it. Once you have done this, go to home. You can click on copy and paste. Then move what you have pasted and just make sure you create a bridge for this to separate the difference between these numbers and the other one. So this is exactly what you do. You can just highlight everything, like click on this. So we have them some kind of click here. So we can move them Let's see. Oh, I think they have to be moved individually. No problem. Just give it some time to some kind of do this. It's going to pay off because you are doing yourself a lot of good work to have something that stand out properly. Let's take time to do this. The last one should be this one here. So one thing is left. Is there anything? So I think we can just do with what we have right now. So we are done with this very, formatting. So it is time for we to get this to our, let's see. Let me see here. Click here. Let's see what is giving us this kind of driver ID in driver. No, we made a mistake here. I'm so sorry. So we don't have to do this in driver because we should have some kind of, have more than this count. So we are counting total drive, not total driver, total drives. You get it? So let me put S here to correct this, total drives here. And we come over here. Instead of us doing this count over the driver table, we do this count over the let me just put driver. So once we have our driver ID, you can see we have the one in driver table, and we have this one in the fact table driver kilometer traveled. So this is what we need to count. So if I hit my enter right now, we should have like 189, I presume. Let's see that. So 189, and this doesn't only correct the drives, it corrects other values where we use it to make some kind of deviation. So do you see this right now? So make sure you make some kind of verification to see what exactly you're calculating. That is exactly what it is that will save you from having wrong calculations. So let's go over to our driver dashboard. So here we are. So it is time for we to actually get what we have some kind of added as a tooltip inside here. So click on this and go over to here. So from there, you click on properties. From properties, you see this particular tooltip right here. Go ahead and turn it on. Then click over here. And now it is time for we to actually go ahead and click on this particular page here and change it to driver tooltip. So let's find out what we have. If I hover over this right now, let's see what information we have. So total drive is 13 and the average fuel efficiency is 4.11. Total fuel consumption per kilometer. I told you this has nothing to do with value, but how many gallons or whatever the measurement being used per kilometer. The fuel consumption is actually $83 per kilometer and driver average speed is 5.28 k. So can you see it right now? Per kilometer, everything is down. This is exactly what our client is looking for, and we have just gotten that done. But one more thing, our table is looking some kind of flat. So before I get this particular table fixed, I want to remove the tooltip temporarily for now. Let's go over here. So where is that? We click on the table. We click over the properties and we turn off the tooltip for now. So if I hover over it, I don't see nothing. So what do we do now? We need to actually make our table to look very beautiful. And I already have, some colors in place for this. Let's get it. So this is one of the colors we're going to use for our table to make our table look very nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and do copy. So go here, Control A, Control C to copy. So we step off. So now we're back here. The very first thing I have to do is just to scroll all the way down. Once I'm here, go to visual, click, go down. So when you're down, first of all, look at this particular one where it says specific column. So click on that and scroll down. So we are in driver. So click and go to kilometer travel. So I want to make sure I align this one to the left-hand corner. So do that to every single columns and let's see what we have. So finally, we do it to fix cost. And that is exactly what it is. So once we have done that, we scroll all the way down and now we see where it says cell elements. So this is exactly what it is. So from driver, we choose the first one And what we want to use is actually data bars. Let's go ahead and activate it. So we have this, very cool though, but we don't like it. So let's go ahead and change what we have as a bar color. Do this and more. So here we go. If I click on OK, that would definitely give me something like this. So the same color we have over here is what we want to have for this. How do we get it? Clicking on this now will definitely retrieve the color for us. So go ahead and copy, and we click back on our table. So once we've done that, we scroll all the way down. Then we are here. We select the next one. That is going to be our consumed liters. So we turn on the bar. So we'll click on this. Let's do this. Okay. Click on OK. So we have something. Oh no, this is not really cool. What do we do? So let's some kind of find this color and see if this color is going to actually solve our problem. So we want something very cool. We don't want something too shiny. So we click back here. We scroll the way down. Then this is it here. So we paste this in here. And let us take a look at that. So this looks very cool. So I love this. And this would definitely be for my maintenance cost. Let's go for my maintenance cost. I'm going to go for maintenance cost here. Turn on the bar. Click here. Click here. And we have this. Okay, we have this, right? So the same color we have, which is this particular color we have right for this, is what we're going to use for the rest. So just go ahead and click on this, click here and copy, then just cancel it. And now we select the fuel consumed. So we turn on the bar, we click on this, we just change that to this very one here. So finally, we select the last one, which is the fixed cost, and that is going to be this one here, this here. Click on this, then this, Ctrl V to paste, then we click on OK. Okay, if you look at it, this is looking much more cool than the previous one. And this is exactly what it is. To create a very nice looking dashboard, you need to spend a lot of time trying to do, some kind of adjustment, shifting and stuff like that before you could be able to get exactly what you want. So we have one more thing. If you look at the introductory part of this particular tutorial, we talk about adding some couple of slices. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we're right here. This is the tooltip of the former one with the driver. So if you look at this, if I actually hold my control key and open filter, that opens this particular place for me. So what do we do to have something like this? And if I choose any of my truck type, my dashboard get filtered immediately, and the drivers on that particular truck type would be shown up, and the trailer type will show me which trailer is it. And if I just go ahead and actually click on close, we can close this and we are still maintaining the same filter. How do we create something like this? So let's see to that. So go up to this particular part here, insert, and click on shape and get this particular shape. So now here we have it. Let's go to the size. Click on size here, size and position. Let's go with 32 here. Let's do it by 258, something like this. So we can now move this over to this spot. So the color should be changed. So here we have it. So once we have it now, the next thing is to choose the color that we're going to use for this. If I click on this, I can have my color from here because I've used the same color right here. So what do we do to get the color? So we go all the way to where we have our value right in. So the value here, and we have alternate color. I think that should be this particular color right here. Let's see if we have it. So now let's go ahead and copy this very color, and now we can step into this place. Then we click on the fill. Oh, I think we already have the color right here. I think so. This color. Yeah, this actual color is the exact color we're going to use. The border should be turned off, and we have the color. So inside this color here, so what I'm going to do right now is to actually open the text. Click here, and I'm going to click here and say open filter. So open filter. So my open filter should be a little bit, bold. Or should I use a bold font? Let's try that. So if I use this, this look quite well. I can fix it back to open filter on 10. This is beautiful. So once I've gotten this, but I'm not really satisfied with the color I have. Let's see if we can have a different color. Like try this color. No. Let's do something different. Let's try this color. Okay, I think this color pops the way it should be. I love this color. So we have this first color right here, and I'm gonna have this one copied and paste somewhere. Copied and paste. So over here, this one should be changed to something different. Let's go to the text. So let us just choose this one to be close. So close. So we come here and choose this. So all we do now is to reduce the transparency to something like this. So just let this be right here. So let's go back to insert. From insert, I click on this. I collect this. So now I'm gonna go to the size. Let's do 390. So let's do that by 269. But the curveness is some kind of too much, right? Let's fix it. So we go over to where could that be? Shape and style. Let's reduce this. Something like this is cool. So here we go. We're gonna have this right here. So when we open it, this is where we want it to come. So now we change the color. So we use the same color for it. So this one right here is gonna come over to this spot. Okay, so when I click on this one, I don't want to have a background for it. So a border around it. So now we have this. So the next thing now is this one here. I click on it. I have it over this one. Don't worry, we can rearrange it later. I want to make sure we go to format and bring this one to front. So bring forward. If you don't use bring forward, you can use bring to front. Either of it with them that'll give you the same thing. So if I step off right now, I should still be seeing it exactly. If I click on this, it can disappear, but once I step off, I should be seeing it. So now it is time for we to add our slices. So the first thing to do now is to go ahead and add these slices. How do we do that? Let's go ahead and click on slicer first. So we have the slicer here. So we can go ahead and grab the slicer we want to actually add. Let's go to vehicle and we click on truck type here. So here's our truck type. So quickly, with the truck type being selected, let's go to where could that be? The header should be turned off. Slider settings. We go here, we select tile. So we have this, and we want to have it like this. Something like this would be cool. So I can move it up to this level. So bring it down a little bit. Okay, so once we have done this, go to format and either bring to front or bring forward. So now we have to quickly go over to this and turn off the background where I want it. So the next thing to do now is to go to value here, and the background from value should be changed. Click on this and let's select this one. So once we have done that, we can make the font to be much more darker. Let's select the same font as the background color, so we can click on bold. That is it. So the font pops out very well. So the next thing we are going to do right now is to go to home, copy, and have this pasted. So once we have done that, we move this over here. So now we have to stretch this because it takes more larger or longer label rather. So we click on this. So trailer type, this one now, this time around is going to be truck type. So here we go, something like this. So I just want to go back to my format and I click on bring forward. So I love the space between them, is nice. If I step off, I still have them visible. So I can definitely click on this very first one now and some kind of adjust it to make it look as big as this. Select this one, select this very one here. So once you have done that, let us right click and see where it says group. So we click on group. So we'll group them together. They have been grouped now. So here we go. So they are now grouped as one, but one thing is left. I should have added that before I do this. That is going to be my title, right? Let's go over and add it. I think we still have some work to do right here. Don't forget about that. So we're going to keep that for the last. So what I'm going to do right now is to go to my text box, click on it, and here I'm going to type in trailer type. So here we go, Control A. So we have to pop this a little bit. So let's select a bolder font, bold font. Yeah. So let's do like 12. Yeah, maybe it is good. This is good. So, why is this? Let's do this. Let's move it over here. So let's go ahead and turn off the background. And now we can go here, select it. We do Control A, then we click on this. So we select something like this. So we Control C, paste. So we move this right in here. So this one is going to be, I think, let's select this to understand what we are doing. Select this one. Once you double click, you can select this. So here is your truck type. So it's going to be our truck type here. So here's our truck type. All we just have to change is this one to truck. So truck type. So we can bring this all the way down here. So let's align this to the middle. Spend some time doing this, please. So you will definitely like what you have done after all. Okay, let's say we are cool with this. So we select this as well. We select all of this. Okay, so we can do this to highlight every single thing we have in here. We can just multi-select all of them at the same time, or what? So once you have done this, we just right click and make sure we group everything, all the content inside it. Don't know why it's not working for me. Okay. First of all, let's select this, and I can go ahead and select this one. So I can right click, group, ungroup. Now I can just select this one, then select this one, select the main content inside it. So we can right click, and now we can group all of them together. So they have been grouped, so they can be moved at once now. So we can move them all at once. So we can sit with them right here. That is beautiful. So it is time for we to actually make sure we show and hide this particular slicer. So what we do next, we come over to view, and we make sure we turn on our what? Or if you don't want to use view, you can use here. Can you see this plus? It depends on your version. So click on this plus here, and on the plus, you can see where it says selection, and you check where it says bookmark. You turn on the bookmark as well. So you can actually switch between this and this. So the very first thing I'm going to do right now is to click on this. So once I identify that it's a group, I can actually click on it, and I'm going to type here. I can just say sliders, right? So here my slider is active, is on selection. I'll go over to bookmark here. What I'm going to do now is just to click on add, double click on it to actually change the name. I'm going to say show underscore sliders. So now the next thing is for we to actually click here. So this particular dots, once you click on it, you have this. So deactivate the data. So click back on it. So you deactivate this particular current page. So click back on it again. You actually deactivate this particular all visual. So once you lastly click back on it, you click on update. You get that? So now, once you are done, go over to selection again. Now it's time to turn it off. It's been turned off. Make sure you have it selected. If it's selected like this, that is good. Go over here and click on that one. Double click, and here you type hide underscore slicer. So now we can just go ahead and do the same thing now we've done. Data should be unchecked. So we go for current page, uncheck it, don't mark it. So we go for all visual, do the same thing. So we click here. Yeah, is this? You click on update. So if I click on this, oh, I think what is going on? We might have done something wrong here. Let's see how to correct that. So I'm so sorry for that. Let me just go ahead and have this one deleted for now. We're going to do it for the last time. So click on this and do this. So let's do this again for the last time. So what we can do now is to make sure we have this selected. That is the slicer here, the slicer selected. If you mistakenly select something different, that is when you see what you have done wouldn't work. So now we have the slicer selected. We go over here, we click on this, and we double click, and we say show underscore sliders. So hit your enter key. So we come over here, we deactivate the data. So we do the same thing, and we deactivate this particular current page. So lastly, we deactivate this particular all visuals. So once we click, what we should have activated now is this one checked as well. We update. So let's go back here. Now we turn it off. Make sure we select slices. We go all the way back here. We click on this. Double click. We go ahead and click on hide underscore slicer. Once I hit my enter key, I do the same thing right here. The next one now should be this one, and lastly should be this one. Then finally we click on update. Let's test it out and see. So if I click on my show slicer I should have this. Click on this, it should be hidden. Click on this, it should be back. So if it is working, if I select, for example, this tractor here, it should have my dashboard some kind of, filtered. And if I actually go ahead and have this hidden, it should keep exactly the way the dashboard is being filtered. If it doesn't keep it, just know that you have done something wrong. So here we go, we bring it back and we make sure we unfilter it by clicking on the same tractor. It will definitely unfilter it. So now we are done from here. We can definitely have this one closed. So we have this one closed as well. We don't need it. So we can definitely close this one. So when we need it again, we click on the plus sign. So the next thing now is to double click on this one. Double click on it. So scroll all the way down until you find action. Turn on the action. Then scroll down, open it and scroll down. Then we are using bookmark. So that is going to be our open slider. Then we select the show slider for it. Then for this one, double click on it until you have the action opened. So the same action is being opened for you. Turn it on. Then go over here and select bookmark. Then scroll down a little bit. Click here and this one should be hide. So remember, we are not on Power BI service. Right here on Power BI desktop, we have to click on our control key, then click on close, and that closes this for us. When we hit the control key again and click on this, it will definitely have this open. This is exactly how I have done what you have seen in the completed one. So now the next thing is giving the title to this one right here. Very important, right? So let's quickly go to insert here on the text box. On our text box here, we're going to type in total liter consumed. So total liters consumed. So we quickly just some kind of put it on 12. Then we do this, just make it a bit smaller. Let's centralize it. Come over here, do this, and we just make it this way. So once you are done, all you have to do is to some kind of copy. So we did copy something wrongly, remove it. So click on this one and make sure you copy it. Just copy and paste it. So I'm going to show you what you're going to do now. So place this one right here. In case you forgot what this one is, just click on it and click here. So it's going to show you total drive. So all you have to do right here is to remove this particular part. Remove this part and represent it with drive. Just go ahead and do this. So you paste a new one and you move it to this level. So this one here is total kilometer. Total kilometer traveled. KM traveled. So we can just paste the next one here and drag it all the way down. So here is going to be on top. You can see we have more space on top. So what we're going to have right here is total fixed cost. If you don't get it, just click on this and click here. So fixed cost. So leave the total and just highlight the remaining one and just type in fixed cost. Then all we do is to do this. So we just bring this all the way here. So this one should actually be our fuel consumed. So all I just need to change is this part here. So total fuel consumed, adjust this. And lastly, we pay this one. We should be done by now. And this one is going to be like, I can't remember this. I'm going to click on this, click here. Okay, that is total maintenance cost. So here, all I just want to have is going to be maintenance costs, right? So I'm going to remove my total. So to create something a little bit short that will contain my box. So what about this? Okay, guys, if you look at this, this is exactly what it is that we have. Let us compare this to the previous one we have created that I've shown you from the inception of the class, and let us see if this actually look like that one. But before then, let me adjust this. I'm going to click on this one here. The three dots, we resize it to this place. Okay, we have something like this. I'm going to show you, and you're going to tell me what is the difference between the previous one I've created before we started creating this one from the scratch, and let me know what you feel in the comment section. Let's look at that. So we have this one here. Remember, we have driver analysis. That is what separates them. So can you see it right here right now? We go to the next one. That is this one. We do that again. We switch to this one. Now we switch to this one. Can you see? We create the exact thing I have created before now. No much difference. So this is exactly what it is. If you think it's worthy of saying thank you, leave a comment and say thank you. And always give a thumbs up to this. Share to your friends, and let's see what will be the next one to be posted on this channel. Thanks for watching.